Here at Russian River Brewing Company, we've always had sustainability in the back of our mind. But to be honest with you, when we were a smaller brewery, there was really only a couple initiatives that we could take on.
When we designed the Windsor Brewery a few years back, we were able to design additional sustainability initiatives. And recently we've added a couple of new really exciting things that we're going to talk about today.
We're here in the brew house, and one of the unique things that we have connected to our kettle is this vapor condenser that's to my left. And pretty much what it is a heat exchanger, and it takes the steam that's blowing off the kettle stack and then takes our ambient brewing water and they exchange their heat. And so we can take our brewing water that starts out at room temperature and take it up to 150 or 160 degrees just by using the free steam that would normally just blow outside and up the kettle stack. One of the things that we do when we're cooling our wort down, that's unfermented beer, is we'll actually take the hot wort and run it through a heat exchanger. It's flowing one way, water's flowing the other way. They'll actually exchange their heat, and now that hot wort, the unfermented beer, is now cooled down, and the water that started out on a cooler temperature is actually now quite hot, and will end up in our hot water tank, becoming the next batch brewing water.
This is something almost all breweries around the world do, because you have to cool down the wort in order for the yeast to survive. And so as long as we've been in the industry, which is over 30 years, from the smallest of the smallest breweries that we've had, we have always done this sustainability initiative, and it's just a great way to heat water without using any energy.
So the byproduct of fermentation when you're making beer is carbon dioxide, or CO2. And that CO2 will blow off the fermenter, and typically it just blows into a bucket and then goes off into the atmosphere. Instead, we're now taking that CO2, we're collecting it. This will literally take the raw CO2 that's come off the fermentation tank, run it through a cleaning process, and once that process is done, it'll send it back out to our bulk CO2 tank. So in the end, we've actually recycled almost all of our CO2, and we're actually making so much CO2 that not only can we supply 100% of our CO2 needs here at our Windsor Brewery, but we're supplying all the CO2 that we need down for our Santa Rosa Brewery as well.
Not only is this great for the environment by releasing less CO2 into the air, reducing our CO2 costs by making us 100% sustainable, but also giving us the ability to be more efficient and make a little bit more beer. Behind us here is our spent grain silo. We send all of our spent grains to a local farmer. So it's a really great way to give back to the local community and also, remove our waste that we can't really use.
So the tank behind me, not the prettiest tank we have here at the brewery, but it's our spent yeast and spent dry hop tanks. And all the contents will also go to the same farmer that picks up our spent grain. Another initiative that we designed into the brewery here in Windsor was a wastewater treatment plant. Initially, the liquid will flow through and get filtered, and then it runs through a whole process, including this big 20,000 gallon reservoir that's right below us, and with a lot of oxygen being injected and some good bugs and critters that help clean the liquid up. From that point, we'll actually take that water, run it through a triple filtration process, and instead of dumping it back into the waste stream, we'll collect as much of it as possible and send it to a reclaimed water tank. From there, it gets pumped back into the building, and all of the water that we clean the tanks with and the pipes and the hoses in the brewery is all reclaimed water right from our wastewater treatment plant. It's a really cool thing that we're really excited to have. One of the things that we love about being here in the town of Windsor is the fact that we can buy what's called purple pipe water. Purple pipe water is non-potable, recycled water that has been treated by the town of Windsor. And then that water actually irrigates the entire property here. So we don't use any domestic water to water the grounds, which is a really great thing. And maybe Natalie, you want to talk about the purple pipe that we have plumbed into the building that we'll someday use.
Back in 2017, when we were designing and building the brewery, we made a proactive decision to plumb all of our toilets with the ability to use the town of Windsor's purple pipe for the toilets, but legislation had not yet passed, so we were not able to do that, but we kind of foresaw this coming, and so in 2025, SB 31 was signed into law, and we will be able to flip that switch sooner than later.
And this is just one more way that we can conserve water and reuse water, and we're really excited to finally be able to throw that valve.
So behind us here is one of the bioswales that we have all over the property here in Windsor. At the bottom of the bioswales is a small membrane liner that will collect any oil or gas or other debris that's fine particles that may flow off of the parking lots during a rain event. Then we have some rock also lined in there. And then each bioswale is planted with specific plants to kind of help with the whole ecosystem that's happening out there. Any additional water that flows into the bioswales, such as a really heavy rain event, will then go through a drain that flows right out to the wetlands and helps to recharge the vernal pools out there.
We're here in our beer garden at our Windsor Brewery. We've got our wetlands right behind us, and Natalie's going to talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, so this whole property that Vinnie and I bought in 2016, it's 15 acres and it came with 4 acres of legally protected wetlands, which we had designed our entire hospitality area and beer garden around to have a beautiful view. And so when we have really big rain events, these wetlands are just popping off. It's really cool. And then in the springtime, we get tons of migratory birds. We have lizards and snakes, and we've seen coyotes and deer. We've got a hawk that just lives in this old oak tree right here, and
She's there right now.
every day. So it's a great vantage point for hunting in the wetlands. So yeah, so that's what's going on out here.
When it's all said and done, all those sustainability initiatives that we just showed you are all the things that go into making the beer that we do here, whether you're buying a bottle of beer or having a pint of beer here at our pub.
So thanks for spending a few minutes with us today and letting us share all of our sustainability efforts that we are super proud of here at Russian River Brewing Company.